Okay, hello ladies. I hope this is recording this time. I had to switch to the other phone. My other phone kept shutting down, and this is the third time I am trying to record. So I hope I am recording. It is the 1st of July. It is 1:35. I started out at 1:25. Now it's 1:35 because I'm having these dumb phone issues. It's about 83 degrees outside. It's 1:35 p.m. by the way. The air quality is now at about 42, 43, which I guess is good because I have no clue, what it's supposed to be at normal. Don't know. I just know it's not in the 200s anymore. I am working on resolving the issue with smaller alphabet for the top part of the spines because they're shorter. And I think I found some on the internet that I should be able to fit in the last 3 blank spaces that I need to use. So, this is still the Randall Spangler. This is still the cat bookshelf. I am so hoping that I will get this done in the next week. I want to finish this because then I want to start some of my gonks, or as you all know them as gnomes, but they are gonks. And just to be able to do something smaller. I may end up working on a few, 2 or 3 of them in the month of July, depending on when I get this done. And then I don't know what I'm going to pick. I may just continue to do smaller ones until September. And then in September I will do the black and white. Whether anybody's there or not, I'm going to do the black and white, period. In October, I will be doing my Mystic Cat for Halloween, joining Hoya Bella. So, anybody there, fine. If not, it doesn't matter because I'm doing it for me. It's what I want to paint. So, turn this on, and this is where I have to really pay attention. I hope you can see it. Ignore my fingernails and stuff because I keep forgetting to get nail polish remover. Thought I had some, don't. I need to get the stuff off my nails and try to polish them or something, but hey, I'm not a beauty guru. It is what it is. Let's see. Oh, Crafting with V, I saw your video. Do Chippendale. They are the unusual, so it's not something that everybody sees all the time. At least I haven't seen them in diamond painting. So, it depends on what everybody else votes for you, but I like them. I used to watch them as a child, and I enjoyed them. Never could understand what they were saying, but I liked them. Let's see, I'm in the black right now because I did some of the other ones that I said were shaped almost the same, except they have the circle with the line. So now I'm just going to go ahead and do the black area. That way I can, that's easier for me to concentrate on while I'm talking. I don't know how long the video will be. I have no clue on, what I even want to talk about. Well, everybody was talking about, cars. Then they were talking about penny candy. And I, see, this is going to be hard to see. I'm down below. Let's see. Did that show up? There we go. Sorry. when I was in grade school, I was 6 years old when I started first grade, because our school where we were at did not have kindergarten. And when I was in about, I think it was third grade. So let's see, I would have been, I'd have been about 9 or so. We had a candy store right across the street from the school. Just a little, I don't know what you'd call him. He wasn't a 5 and dime. He was just a little store. It looked like it used to be a garage, and they converted it into a little grocery store where you bought candy and milk, bread, just the essentials, pop, different things like that. And I used to go over there during our recess time, because it was right across the street, and he would let me run the cash register and sell the candy to the other kids that came in, just for that half hour, and then he'd pay me $0.25. And you know how much penny candy you can get for $0.25. But the register that he had, if you ever watched the Waltons or some of the old movies, it was a wooden, great big monster of a cash register. And it had a hand crank on the right side. And it had the big numbers, and you had to push them both down at the same time, and it would bring up the little numbers up at the top in a glass window to tell you how much you sold. And then you would crank the handle, and when you did, the drawer would fly out. Well, every time I'd crank that handle, I had to move out of the way quick, because I had to stand on a little stool in order to be able to reach the buttons to register the amount. So as soon as I'd crank it, I'd jump off the stool, because if I didn't, the drawer would smack me right in the chest, and it would knock me off the stool. So I had to make sure that when I cranked it, I jumped. But he always gave me $0.25, and I'd spend most of it right there. He might as well not have handed me the $0.25, just told me I'd get 25 cents worth of candy. But he figured if I didn't want all the candy, we used to get wax lips and the wax whistles that looked like Pan's flute, and it would have a Halloween sticker on it. At that time, if it was around Halloween, you'd have those. And I used to opt for the red dollars. I really liked those. And I liked the blackjacks and the Mary Janes. Anybody knows those names, they probably know what kind of candy that is. Mary Janes were a lot like your bit of honeys, and maybe nobody knows what a bit of honey is. I don't know. And then we used to have the pop machines that look like an ice chest, the flat ones, rather than your stand-up pop machines. And you lifted up the lid, you put your I think it was 10 cents then, and you put your 10 cents in, and a little bar would pop in there, and in that big metal chest was filled with water that naturally was cooled like a refrigerator, electric. And you didn't just pull your bottle out, you had to wind it through a maze until it came to the part that popped open enough so that you could pull your bottle out. And at that time, when we had the bottles, and you opened them up on the, machine, and the inside always had cork. And he would pay us, I don't know, pennies or whatever. I think it was a penny a piece or something. And just for every bottle cap we'd find, because if people didn't return the bottles, he would still get some of his deposit back from the bottle caps. So we'd find those out in the lot, or wherever we'd find them. And then naturally, if you returned your bottles for the you got the bottle you returned, you got a nickel for the bottle, just the regular little, what they call a pony bottle. And then when they started selling the quart bottles, you got a quarter back on those if you found them. And we used to do that all the time, run around trying to find pop bottles, and we'd take them down to the other store that was near where I lived, called the Fruit Market, and we take them down there, turn them in, and buy candy. And Granny, you were everybody's talking about bubble gum and things like that. We had we'd go down there all the time because Mr. Henry, which is the one who ran the Fruit Market, him and his mother, it was a bigger store than the candy store we'd go to. This was a bigger, they sold meat and everything else. And they had a big bubblegum machine in the front entrance of the store. And it had, I think, at any one time, it would have 5 special gumballs in that machine. And they were usually yellow gumballs with tiger stripes on it. And if you put your nickel in there, or your, I think it was 2 cents then, put your 2 cents in, that sounds like good. You put your 2 cents in. And if you were lucky enough to get that one, it gave you 50 cents of anything in the store. You could spend 50 cents. And I remember one time I finally, through a whole summer of chewing that stupid gum, because it wasn't the greatest gum, not after being in the bubblegum machine for a while, and I finally got one. I ended up buying, pretzels, candy bars, and I got my favorite popsicle. It was the blue ones. I used to love the blue popsicles. I don't know why. I guess just the way they tasted. Maybe they were like a blueberry, I don't know, but... And we'd go down to that store on occasion and get milk from my mom and stuff. But then sometimes in the winter, she would have, just every once in a while, it wasn't real often, she'd have milk delivered. And they'd come and deliver, probably seal test, if I'm not mistaken. Whoops, there goes a bunch of my drills. In the wintertime, naturally, your milk would separate. The cream it was in a milk bottle, glass bottle, with a cardboard cap on them. And the cream and the milk would separate. We used to get yelled at all the time because we'd pop that little cardboard thing off and take a spoon or dig around in it with our fingers and eat some of the cream off the top. So at that time, anybody that's been around long enough to know that the cream always separated from the milk in the refrigerator. So before you'd even drink any or have some on your cereal or whatever, you had to shake it. You shook your bottles to mix it. And to this day, after doing it all those years, to this day, I still shake the milk bottle or the milk carton to mix the milk. And it's already mixed. You don't have to do that anymore. But that's old habits. You know, you get used to a certain thing and you just keep doing it. And then talking about milk, so I'm staying on the subject of milk, just changing the venue. When I was little, I used to go to a friend's farm. We'd spend weekends there and, you know, go there for a day trip or whatever. And they had, I mean, as a small child, you thought they owned the world because the expanse of the land, you know, it was just tremendous to you. And they had a huge barn and a couple cows, horses, and we'd go there and we'd go into the barn and they would milk the cows by hand, you know, 'cause they only had a couple of them. And us kids, and then they had barn cats too. But me and the kid that was there, Ralphie, I remember his name, we'd go in there and we'd milk the cow and squirt the milk at the cats, and they'd be standing there just lapping up the milk. And we even drank, you know, squirted some of it in our hands and drank milk right from the udder. I'm still alive. I'm 71. And we used to run, you know, swing out of the hayloft. Sounds like an old movie somewhere, but it is what we did. You know, we swung out of the hayloft and ran down to their pumps. I called it a pump station, but it was further away from their property. And if you got thirsty or anything, you pumped your own water and drank from it. It was, you know, that was country, man. Major country. And let's see, what else did we do when we were kids? Oh gosh, we did so many dumb things. It's unbelievable. Where I lived at, when I was about 8, I think I was almost 8, or I hadn't turned 8 yet. I know that because I remember my 8th birthday party. The only one I can remember distinctly, and I still have photographs from it. But I would have been about 7 or so, and that's when I met my first best friend. We did everything together, up to and including sharing measles twice. I can remember she had them, because we had I think they call them like the 9-day measles, and the other one, that's what we called them, but it was the German measles and the other, whichever they were. But I ended up getting both types of measles then. And I had them and went over and visited her and gave them to her. And then she got the next set of the kind of measles and came over and gave those to me. So that was fun, wearing sunglasses, staying in the house and told not to itch. Don't scratch. Don't scratch. Impossible. And we used to climb her cherry tree outside her bedroom window. And that's the tree I fell out of. I'm surprised I'm alive today, because it was up pretty high. We sat on the branches and eating cherries. The branch let go, and down I came. Landed right on my back. Could not breathe for, it seemed like an eternity. Didn't break a bone. And honest to goodness, I have been lucky so far my whole life, and I'll probably jinx myself now. But I've been lucky so far that all the falls I have taken, twisting ankles, falling out of trees, everything, that I have yet to break a bone. So somebody's watching out. And and talking about like falling and things like that. When I was a kid, our playground was concrete, cement, and we had monkey bars and fire, what they called the fire escape thingy, and swings that if they hit you in the head, they'd probably kill you. And we had the merry-go-round thing where you spun people fast enough that they let go, they went flying. We are all still alive. Now we've got playgrounds that soft cushiony, and swings that kind of seats fold, and they're not dangerous or whatever, I don't know. But I think back on all the things we did when we were kids, and by gosh, we're still alive. It's amazing. And the times you spent away from home, playing with your friends. The street lights would come on, and you knew, uh-oh, time to be home. And also, where our house, where we lived, and then going up the street was the school up at the very top of the hill. We could start playing and messing around at the top of the hill, and if we did anything between time leaving the school playground and getting home, if we did anything we weren't supposed to do, our mother knew about it by the time we hit the house, because any one of those neighbors looked out for you and would call your parents and tell them. So they watched out for you. They paid attention. Now, these kids around here where I live, you hear them out here screaming bloody murder and carrying on, and you keep looking out the window thinking, okay, is there something wrong? Are you okay? Did something happen? And it's like crying wolf. They keep carrying on like that. You don't know whether to, run out and check to make sure they're okay, or ignore them because you figure, oh, they're just screwing around, no big deal. So it's like, as I said, you still pay attention. You still look out for your neighbor, at least you should. And let's see, how far have I gotten on here? Yeah, I'm coming up to it. I'll give you one last little story. When I was a kid, from first grade to sixth grade, all in the same building, I had a teacher named Miss Lynn, fourth grade. Or was she fifth grade? No, she was fourth grade. Mean, scary, matronly looking teacher. The kind you would see on the Waltons, with the high collar, the hair in the bun, and she'd walk around all the time with a ruler in her hand, smacking her hand. And the desks we sat at had the inkwells and stuff. We didn't use those anymore, but they were there. The old wooden ones that were all attached. And her ruler was wooden, but it had a blade, sharp blade on the one side, so that when they, tear papers, I'm sure some of you have seen them. You were not allowed to talk. You weren't allowed to, get out of your seat. Nothing. This camera needs to be pushed up, maybe. And she was very, very strict. And I don't remember if I was talking. I don't remember what I did, but I'm sure I did something that she was not impressed by. And this is the truth. She took that ruler and cracked me across the knuckles and cut all 4 of my knuckles. Needless to say, I never said another word in that class. And nothing ever happened to her, of course. It was what happened back then. I think maybe what it was is I kept getting up more times than I should have to mess with the pencil sharpener. The kind you crank on the wall. It could have been that, could have been anything, and I remember seeing her after I graduated high school. She was still alive. She didn't recognize me, didn't know who I was, of course. But boy, I'll tell you, she was still dressed the same. Hair in the bun, high collared. And there's no way I wanted to cross that woman. No way. So, well, kids think they got it rough in school and they get away with a lot more than we ever did. But I can go through the list and I can tell you the names of every teacher I ever had. Every single one. But don't ask me what I ate for supper yesterday. I can go back 50 years or more and remember things. Just don't ask me what I ate yesterday. I have to stop and think about that. So, I expect I prattled enough about pretty much nothing. And if you're entertained, then you'll come back. If you're not, hey, oops, I'm sorry, keep hitting you, y'all. You go to another channel. That's what I usually do when I see something on television I don't like. Just change the channel. So I hope you all have a good 4th of July, safe. They've been shooting off firecrackers and whatnot since yesterday. They just look for excuse to be crazy. And, please don't drive on that day if you can help it. Because people just, drink and drive any other time too, but they will do it that day. And I hope you have good fireworks wherever you're at. I don't watch them anymore. I can hear them from here. So, y'all have a good day. Hoya Bella, I enjoyed your openings, your unbaggings. Linda, just keep on plugging away. It's 30 days. Hey, think of it as, a journey. That's all you can do. It's your journey into the Golden Valley. Mary, your package definitely will be shipped on Monday. Oh, and Granny, surprise, surprise, that package that I am going to send one to you. It is your birthday in July, so be prepared. Something's coming, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Everyone else, Chef Diamond, Tita, Keeling, oh geez, I'm gonna go down the list, and here we go. Becky, I watched your video, really loved it. 30 minutes, boy, I haven't seen you do a 30-minute video in, like, have you ever? It was really interesting and fantastic. So, you know I'm forgetting people. I'm sure I am. Enza and all of them. Even though I'm not doing the Disney, I'm going to enjoy, seeing how the pictures turn out, how the paintings turn out. I should be on here tomorrow if anybody is going to be watching, since it's coming to the 4th. I've got an Amazon delivery that'll be here tomorrow sometime. Not sure when. They say anytime between, that time and 8 o'clock in the evening. But usually our mailman delivers packages about 1 o'clock. So when they show up, I will unbox them, and I may show you another Spangler that I have in my collection that I haven't unboxed to you guys, so you can see the size and scope of some of the stuff that I attempt to paint. I just wish I had some place to hang them all. So y'all have a good day, good weekend, a happy 4th, and don't eat too much, don't drink too much if you drink, and spend it with family. Enjoy it, and I will try and get back with y'all tomorrow. So it's me, Diamond Painting Crazy Lady. I'm out. I love y'all. Bye-bye.